if we go back to the Pliocene, that's about 3 million years ago, which in geologic time is not that long ago. But 3 million years ago, the Arctic was forested. There was no Greenland ice sheet, and so we can see what that world looked like. And what is particularly interesting is that the world was actually naturally at relatively high greenhouse gas levels for natural reasons. And that's sometimes a little bit difficult for people to understand. But we were coming from the Cretaceous dinosaur time, 65 million years ago, driving carbon dioxide in the atmosphere down naturally as mountains were building up and were weathering silicate minerals, pulling down the carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide, the weathering of rocks actually brings CO2 out of the atmosphere. So we were coming down from these Cretaceous times down through the Tertiary into the Pliocene. So in the Pliocene, the world was cooling, but we were still at about 400 parts per mil. At the same time, we had this forested conditions, no Greenland ice sheet, and in fact, we now know that at the same time in Antarctica, there was probably no West Antarctic ice sheet at the same time. So if you add the amount of water in the West Antarctic ice sheet with the amount of water that's frozen up in the Greenland ice sheet, you're talking about anywhere from 12 to 15 meters of sea level rise back in the Pliocene. In fact, the number that most scientists are hovering around now is an estimate of around 20 meters of sea level. So that's getting on over 60 feet, which would be significant in the future if you look at the infrastructure that we have on our coastlines. Do we need to worry about 60 feet of sea level right away? No, but even a rise of even a meter or three or 4 feet, by the time my children are grandparents, that's a very short period of time. We're looking at 1 meter to 2 meters of sea level rise, or maybe 4 to 6 feet of sea level rise. That is dramatically important to how we manage our coastlines. And I think this is where my personal concern is how are we going to manage that coastline, and what are we going to do with the infrastructure that goes around, that is in association with that infrastructure?
Okay. That worked.